20 years ago this week, US President Bill Clinton, Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, and PLO leader Yasser Arafat gathered at the presidential retreat at Camp David in an effort to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Indeed, for nearly 2 weeks in the stunningly beautiful Catoctin Mountains, Israeli and Palestinian negotiators wrestled with the core issues of the conflict: Jerusalem, borders, security, and refugees, in front of an American president. There were movies at Camp David: Gladiator and the submarine World War II classic U-571. Wasn't this a peace summit? There were crises. Barak nearly died, choking on a peanut, only to be rescued by the youngest member of the Israeli delegation. There were comedic highs: Arafat watching the Major League Baseball All-Star game and wondering in the fifth inning when the game was going to begin. And there were dramatic lows. Secretary of State Albright, in an effort to improve Barak's mood, offering to move a concert piano into his cabin. And there was always fantastic food. In fact, it seems that the only thing in the end that the Israelis and Palestinians really agreed upon at Camp David on how extraordinary the food was. We had everything we needed at Camp David, everything except, of course, the three core elements required to reach an historic accord. And that's the politically inconvenient truth 20 years after this summit. These three elements: leaders who are masters of their political houses, not prisoners of their constituencies; a fair and equitable deal on the core issues that will satisfy both Israelis and Palestinians; an effective, willful, and skillful mediation by a third party like the United States, have never been present, not at Camp David, not in the 20 years subsequently, and certainly not now. Indeed, what we've witnessed during the last several years in the Trump administration is a dystopic parallel universe where leaders are neither strong enough, interested enough, and risk-ready enough to do much beyond keeping their own seats, where a doable deal exists only in the minds of would-be peace processors, and as they watch the two-state solution poised to go the way of the dodo, and where US policy and image as a credible mediator has been hopelessly blackened by an administration whose approach to solving the Israeli-Palestinian problem is tethered to Donald Trump's reelection and the giving of all of the honey to Israel and nothing but vinegar and ashes to the Palestinians. Sadly, the illusions I held about peacemaking are now gone, but somehow an illogical, almost irrational hope in the future remains. But even that now seems as fleeting and as fragile as the memories of an historic summit 20 years ago.